Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my top 10 games of all time. I would like to express some ground rules that this is my personal top 10 and only games that I have played before. So you won't see any games like Shadow of the Colossus or World of Warcraft because I've never played those. I just haven't. I'm not saying they're bad, I just never played them. So to go over first is our top 10 honorable mentions. These are 10 games that I really love but just aren't good enough to make my top 10. At number 10, Ratchet and Clank. The original on the PS2 was my first PlayStation 2 game, and the PS2 is a brilliant console. I had to put Ratchet and Clank somewhere. So here it is. At number 9, Spyro Year of the Dragon for the PS1. Once again, it was my favourite PS1 game of all time. And there were a lot of good ones, you know. At number 8, Injustice Gods Among Us. I love DC, and I do quite enjoy fighting games. I just put Injustice here. At number 7, Minecraft. A game that I'm sure is on a lot of people's main top 10, but for me, it's just not enough. It's a good game, but it's just not enough, simply put. Number 6, The Last of Us. Great story. I was in tears with this story. It was fantastic. The problem is the gameplay let it down. It's a gorgeous game with great story, but it's just not fun for replaying the game. I don't find a lot of replay value in it. And number 5, L.A. Noire. A very sophisticated game. I enjoy detective. I enjoy things like Sherlock Holmes and stuff like that. I think being your own detective is just a great idea, and Rockstar did it so well. They really, really did well. And number 4, I put The Walking Dead by Telltale Games here, but I could have put any Telltale games. They're just phenomenal. The reason I don't put them higher is it's hard to explain, but just there's something missing. It's a point and click. It's just lacking in gameplay, I guess. I don't know, but they are phenomenal games, and for me, The Walking Dead is just their best one so far. In number 3, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. An older game, but it doesn't matter. GTA San Andreas is still phenomenal. I still play it. It is fantastic. And the only reason that it's on the honorable mentions list is because I didn't want to have 2 GTA games on my main top 10. And number 2 is The Crew. I wanted to put a driving game. Back when I was younger, I would play things like Need for Speed Carbon or Need for Speed Underground, and I wanted to put that on the list. But The Crew just is more. It's got the road trip adventure as well as the fantastic customization. At number 1, just missing out on my top 10, Red Dead Redemption. What can I say? John Marston is a phenomenal character. It is Grand Theft Horse, and it is brilliant. I love it, but it didn't make the list. So, saying that, let's go on to my actual top 10 favourite games of all time. Remember, these are just my opinions and my personal experience, but let's get into it and see what you guys think. At number 10, Tetris. The original Tetris on Game Boy. It was the game of my childhood. I'm not saying I'm old enough to have it. I'm just saying I played it everywhere. I had a Game Boy Color, and I took it everywhere. I didn't have the Game Boy Color version of Tetris. It was the original. I just played on the Game Boy Color. I love Tetris. I do. I love getting high scores. It's phenomenal. Number 9, Infamous 2. I love the Infamous series, and 2 improved on the first one. The first one was fantastic, second one was better. And there's, for one good reason, is there is a level close to the end. It's not quite the end, but it's close to the end, and you are stuck in like a thunderstorm, and you're up against the biggest, like the biggest enemies, and loads of them, loads, absolutely everywhere, and you just draw power from the thunderstorm, and you're just like at full power. You're wrecking everything, and it is phenomenal. In number 8, Heavy Rain. Now, I did say that on my honourable mentions there was a lot of games that didn't have a lot of replay value, and Heavy Rain doesn't. But, god damn it, I love Ethan Mars. He is such a good character, and it is such a good story. I don't really care about the other ones. Just for Ethan, he makes Heavy Rain on this list. In number 7, Batman Arkham City. I had to put an Arkham game just for their combat system. Are they good? But they're Batman as well. Who doesn't want to be Batman? It had to be Arkham City. It's the one I love the most. I've not played Origins and have not played Arkham Knight. I don't think Origins would be better than City. Knight might be better than City. But for now, Arkham City is my favourite Batman game. In number 6, God of War 3. I love Kratos as a character. He's one of the badass characters in all of gaming, and everyone knows it. He wrecks gods. He's amazing. And 3 was amazing as well, because you were going up against all of the Greek gods. It was just amazing. I didn't really like Ascension, the game after God of War 3. 3 is the best. I'm just going to say it, 3 is the best. Speaking of 3 is the best, Uncharted 3. Now, a lot of people love the Uncharted series, and everyone loves Nathan Drake, and a lot of people love the second Uncharted game. But for me, the third one is just better. Not by a long shot. Second is really good, but third just is a little bit better for me. But it could have been either way. Second or third, the Uncharted series is definitely on this list. Nathan Drake is amazing. In number 4, BioShock Infinite. A lot of people might argue BioShock 1 or BioShock Infinite. No one will ever argue BioShock 2 because that was terrible. But BioShock 1 and BioShock Infinite were very good games. But for me, it's gotta be Infinite. There are so many just amazing bits in that game, from the random nosebleeds to that phenomenal ending. It's mind-blowingly good. So let's go on to our final top 3. Number 3 is GTA 5. Here it is. A lot of people's number 1. For me, is number 3. It is a completely flawless game. It just is. It's amazing. I have done loads of videos on this channel, and it is so good. But for me, there are 2 games that are better. In number 2, Skate 3. Now, I quite like skateboarding, and honestly, I did grow up playing Tony Hawk's game. But when I did play Skate 3, I just loved it. The open world feel of skateboarding is just phenomenal. And then every now and again you can just have fun throwing your character at walls. But for me, it's the best skateboarding game. Skate 3, number 2. Number 1, I love the Assassin's Creed series. Number 1 had to be an Assassin's Creed game. It was between 2 or Brotherhood, and it had to be Brotherhood. 2 was the first Assassin's Creed game I played, and it was phenomenal. So I went two, and then I went to the first one, and then I went to Brotherhood. But Brotherhood, I felt, was just a bit more complete. They really knew what they were doing. They really stepped it up a notch. And 3 is my favourite. Ezio is a wonderful character. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for listening to me prattle on my opinions.